Speaking of the Rockets, our next guest is the team's former assistant coach turned children's book author. Please welcome Brett Gunning along with his co-author Stacy Padula. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Great to be here.
Well, I can't wait to find out more about these books. I understand there's two of them, and what inspired this project? How did it all come about?
You know, I was sitting on my couch during the quarantine time, and I have three young children, and I was simply reading a book to my 3-year-old Jordan, and I remember closing the book, and it was a great children's book. It was a dinosaur book that taught my son how to be a better friend at the park. And I remember right there, God put in my spirit, I want you to do the same thing using the game of basketball. And that's, you know, just using simple life skill concepts, but tied into the game of basketball. And it was that simple. I connected with a dear friend in Stacy, who's a great author and writer and publisher. And here we are, 2 books in. It's going to be a 6-book series. But it all started during my time home with my children.
Well, what a positive message you're sharing. I always wondered how that co-author situation worked out. So, Stacy, tell us about your perspective and what you brought to working on this project.
Oh, it's been wonderful to collaborate. Brett reached out to me in the spring of 2020, and we just immediately dove right into outlining some ideas for the stories and then putting it down on paper, and the rest is history. It's amazing what you can do working remotely and how we've been able to collaborate on this. As the publisher also, so I own a publishing company. It's Briley and Baxter Publications. It's out of Massachusetts. And as a publisher, I also found our amazing illustrator, Maddie Moore. So the 3 of us have just been working, you know, nonstop on this since the idea came to Brett, and it's been a wonderful journey so far.
Well, if a picture tells 1,000 words, just looking at the illustrations alone just seems like a warm, good-feeling book. Brett, I got to ask you while we have you here, the Rockets' regular season got underway last night, as we just mentioned. Tell me about your hopes for this young team and perhaps anything that they might do along the way that might just inspire something for the upcoming books.
Oh, well, you know, they've got an exciting group. You know, last night was the start of it. And I know being a part of a lot of opening nights, you know, there's so much excitement and jitters. And obviously they got off to a tough start. But with young players, there's going to be some great games, some great moments. And there's going to be some tough losses along the way. But starting with the ownership, Tillman Fertitta, and their leadership and their coach, they've got a great coaching staff. I expect to see a lot of exciting things. And I think for sure, you know, you want to look and see how these young players carry themselves. And we'll be looking for some inspiration for these future books for sure.
Oh, I'm sure. Hopefully a lot of growth along the way for that team. How did your time coaching in the NBA impact this book and your thoughts about bringing it to life?
In so many ways. I think, you know, you see, I was very fortunate over the 26-year career to see the beginning, middle, and end of so many journeys. And I think, you know, I was able to see guys that made it, didn't make it, made it for a short amount of time, made it, you know, had lengthy careers. And I think what I noticed that it all came back to is the foundation. Those players that had deep-rooted foundations of life skills, you know, humility and being coachable, having accountability, taking accountability for their actions. Those are the things that separated the guys that had long careers versus short careers. And I think, you know, if you can start pouring into kids at a young age, I think it could be the separator.
Well, it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing through these books. Brett and Stacy, thank you for taking time to tell us all about it. And parents have a new to-do list for those kiddos.
Thanks so much for having us.
Thank you.